The television pictures that we see every night show signs of devastation. You will say, well, look, we are trying to target as much as possible. But those are not the pictures that we see. We see whole streets devastated, not individual houses or offices, whole streets, whole communities devastated, schools gone, hospitals gone. How does a community come back from that?
Well, first of all, I really want to mention the fact that Gaza has an underground tunnel city, and in order to get to this underground tunnel city, those areas must be destroyed. And one of the things we exposed to the world after getting into the areas in Gaza, that we try to find all those tunnels and the underground metro city that Hamas has built, thanks to this great support of Iran, Qatar, the international community generosity, everything turned to be this horrible terror city. One of the things we realized that every school, every mosque, every second house has an access to tunnel. So this is, and of course ammunition.
But that's an argument for destroying the whole of Gaza, every single building in it.
So do you have another solution how to destroy the underground tunnel city, that this is the place where the terrorists hide, where they have all their ammunition, and this is the rockets that are still fired on Israeli cities? You know how Israel started its new year? We didn't have fireworks. We had rockets instead of fireworks. Hamas launched a big rocket attack on Israeli main cities in the center, including Tel Aviv. And all Israeli people were not celebrating in the streets of Tel Aviv. They were actually in shelters.
But that is an argument for flattening the whole of Gaza.
We're not. We're actually attacking infrastructure that is launching rockets on our cities.
You are not just attacking infrastructure. We can see that from the pictures. Now, I don't know how these pictures are edited, but you can see the devastated buildings, building after building after building after building. It's not forensic targeted strikes. It's whole streets that are being targeted, isn't it?
Because the whole streets are connected to this metro underground tunnel city that is now being the basis of Hamas, the way they control their ability to attack our cities, to attack the innocent Israeli people.
The logic of that means, though, that if you believe that, and I'm sure there are lots and lots of tunnels under Gaza, but if you want to destroy them, that means destroying all the buildings that are on top of them as well, and that means effectively destroying the whole of the Gaza Strip. Now, there are 2.2 million people live on the Gaza Strip. They've all been encouraged to go into one particular area. But how long is that going to last? I mean, there's going to be a huge humanitarian crisis soon, isn't there?
Can I ask you, have you ever been to Tokyo?
No.
So my first international visit when I was deputy foreign minister was to Tokyo, and the first tour in the city was to tell me nothing is authentic, nothing is original, because the Americans destroyed everything in the Second World War. Basically, Tokyo was devastated. All buildings were taken off. 100,000 people were killed just in one night of airstrikes by the Americans. And Tokyo got back to life because after the Japanese being defeated by the Americans, after a long run American occupation and a whole change of educational system, Tokyo and the modern Japan has become the great country that everyone admires with its great technology. I think we need to remember that the problem is not the devastation of the buildings. The problem is the ideology. And Israel is doing everything to make sure the 2 million Palestinians will be in a place called the Muasi with legitimate shelters together with all the international organizations to make sure we minimize the casualties. But again, it was Hamas that was using these people as human shields. Hamas didn't mind about children getting killed in Gaza. They were using them in front of every place the IDF soldiers were getting. They saw children coming in front of them, or women, just to make sure they get the right footage for the international community to blame Israel. And when this is the reality, we need to fight this ideology that created this horrific thing that the people of Gaza were forced to be human shields. This is the problem. So Tokyo was rebuilt. Gaza can be rebuilt. The only question is what type of ideology we're going to have. Are we going to have a Nazi ideology, or are we going to have peace-loving people, just like Israel has a peace with Egypt, with Jordan, with UAE, Morocco, and Bahrain? And I believe that a better future will happen if we'll take this role model of Japan and we'll make sure the Palestinians will have a better future.